Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! This summer has been the greatest time of my life, having the honor to talk to each and every one of you about how I feel about Descendants and Zombies. I think every other YouTube creator should talk about Descendants and Zombies with the same kind of passion. Unfortunately, they don't see Descendants and Zombies for how I feel about it or how you feel about it, and that's why we're seeing so many videos uploaded about criticism about Descendants and Zombies, and I really, my heart breaks for each and every one of you who watch these videos every night on YouTube. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. I am your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and I've been so proud to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies for this past year. It has been the greatest year of my life, having the honor to be in your guys' presence and to talk about Descendants and Zombies for you in a way that I've meant to be talking about Descendants and Zombies for a very long time. And I feel as if every road that I've taken in my lifetime, everything I've done as a journalist, has led me to this moment, to talk about Descendants and Zombies and go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time to ever do it. Because I feel as if in these reaction videos, there's a certain pride and a passion that you have to have for talking about Descendants and Zombies. Not being so oblivious to every plot, every twist and turn the plot takes, the stories between two people who eventually fall in love and spend the rest of their lives together. And I think that is something that is so beautiful about Descendants and Zombies. Eventually everybody ends up together forever and ever, and they fall in love and stay in love for forever. And that is something that has been instilled in all of our minds. Even when it seems like it doesn't exist out there and can't happen for you, true love always finds a way to you, and it always happens for people when they least expect it. And I think that hope has been represented so powerfully with Descendants and Zombies. Even so much so for the Worlds Collide Tour. You showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour, and the first words that Clarke said on the microphone were that dreams can happen for anybody. And I say thank you to Clarke for instilling that in our minds for the 43 arena dates. We have 5 left to go on the Worlds Collide Tour. They are in Birmingham, Alabama, I do believe, tonight. As of tonight, they will make their way through Birmingham, Alabama into Texas, and they will close out the tour on Tuesday night. And every single night, Clarke has opened up the Worlds Collide Tour with dreams can happen for anybody. That is exactly what I've been saying for the last 25 years. So it leads me to believe that Clarke watches these videos, and hopefully, one can only hope she draws inspiration from my opinions on Descendants and Zombies. I want to say thank you, Clarke, for the 43 arena dates, the phenomenal performances, and the encouragement that dreams can happen for anybody, because that's exactly what I wanted to let everybody know on this YouTube channel for over 25 years. And I was providing commentary on a lot of different niches, video games, TV shows, topics that didn't make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people, and man was I ever criticized. But I feel as if every moment that I've ever been a part of in my lifetime as a journalist has led me to this moment, talking about Descendants and Zombies. To accumulate over 2,800 subscribers plus on this YouTube channel has been the greatest honor of my life, and just being able to make sense of Descendants and Zombies for each and every one of you is something that I would prefer to do for the rest of my life rather than stream video games online like a lot of people do, talk about TV shows and movies that are hot now in the box office. I could be doing that, but if there was one thing I could choose to do all over again, it would be experience Descendants for the popularity and its ascension to the top of Disney Channel and really to the top of the world, because this is the most revered and most popular franchise I think we have ever seen come through the doors of Disney or be in the minds of anybody, because it's touched so many hearts, it has inspired so many people to be stronger, that it has encouraged people. More people now are signing up for the gym, they are signing up for the cheerleading squad, they are signing up for the football team, they are signing up for the swim team, and I too also encourage that, because you only have one life to live. What the Rise of Red was represented by was how time always runs out, because it does, and we have to make the most of all the time that we are allocated in our lifetime, no matter how small or how big the time is we are allocated. We have to make the most of every opportunity we are presented with, to make friends with each other, to support each other, to never quit on each other, to encourage people that dreams can happen for them. Even if our dreams happen before theirs, it doesn't mean they can't get to the point where they will see their dream become a realization. Because the greatest moment of somebody's life that the Rise of Red was still in their minds was the realization of that dream actually happening. And you sit back after the dream happens for you and you realize, I can't believe I just did this and this happened for me. It is a point we all dream of getting to in our lifetime, when we can sit back and relax and realize that all the stress that we put ourselves under was really worth it. And Descendants and Zombies has encouraged so many people from all walks of life, of all different age demographics, because I've always believed that one specific age demographic was never the target of the rise of Red. The Descendants franchise in its entirety, Descendants and Zombies, has targeted so many different age demographics from all walks of life. No matter what their circumstances, no matter what they had befallen them, Descendants and Zombies help them make sense of everything. And that's why I give the writers and producers of this one a constant shout out on this YouTube channel with thank yous, and profound thank yous, mind you, about how life really makes a whole lot more sense now to a lot of people when it necessarily didn't, because Descendants and Zombies happened. I think in 2015, I was pretty much at a low point in my lifetime. I had just lost my dad, and it was the most difficult thing that I ever had to go through. And when Descendants premiered the year after my dad had passed away, Descendants gave me encouragement to jump back on my show and to try to have my voice be heard again after I went away for a 7-year hiatus. It was the most difficult thing that I ever had to go through, being away from a microphone. And when I came back 7.5 years later, I didn't know if I was ever going to be heard or taken seriously. But each and every one of you welcomed me back with open arms. You gave me a chance to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and you let me tell you stories about how I loved Kylie Control from the very first YouTube video I ever saw of Kylie Control. She looked so adorable on that video. She talked about iCarly, Sam and Cat, Victorious, which just so happened to be some of my favorite TV shows growing up. I loved those TV shows so much. I thought that Victorious had the most talented cast that ever had been assembled for a kids' TV series, and they were so deserving of every award and every accolade they received. And I actually saw some photos of Ariana Grande and Victoria Justice the other day, and I was so honored to have seen it, because I remember being such a huge fan of that TV series. But Kylie Control's opinions on those TV shows were phenomenal, and I knew from that moment on Kylie Control was going to be a star. She had star written all over her, and she showed up as the Red character and became one of the most revered characters of the franchise because, simply put, she didn't care what anybody thought of her. And while she was crying on TikTok over reasons like her relationship and her political point of view having been found into the conversation, it broke my heart, because Kylie was this fierce character, but off of camera she was so broken-hearted because of how people felt about her. And I wanted to help Kylie Control realize that people out there really do love her and they really do support her. This is not an act. And with these fans of Descendants and Zombies, what you see is what you get. If they tell you they love you, they love you with all of their heart. And they showed that every single night at the Worlds Collide Tour. When you guys showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour, you showed up. And you showed up out of support of your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars. Regardless of who was the stars of the show, you showed up in support of them. Malachi Burton, Freya Sky, Kylie Control, Malia Baker. It was a prime time event. Everybody showed up, and it was a 5-star production because of the atmosphere and the energy that you guys brought to it. And we're down to our last few shows, and by the time the final reviews of these tours come in, I think that there's definitely going to be a sequel to this one. I would predict that a sequel to this one is just waiting on the release of The Rise of Red. The sequel, of course, the Wicked Wonderland movie next year, and once that drops, then we'll see something special happen with that, and that's going to be absolutely spectacular. I think they're just waiting on the Descendants by Wicked Wonderland soundtrack to drop. Once that premieres on Spotify and iTunes, look out, there'll be a sequel to her, because thousands of people came out of support for Descendants and Zombies, and I think that it really delivered. I have nothing in the way of criticism to offer you about Descendants and Zombies, because I think everything about it was just so perfect. It was the best concert experience, I think, since Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers, the Best of Both Worlds tour back in 2008. That wasn't yesterday. I know Disney has always had a hand for producing these wonderful productions on stage, like Beauty and the Beast and High School Musical, but I don't think I've ever seen anything as fabulously collaborated as this, because it was almost as if you were witnessing the entire Descendants and Zombies production be brought to life, and you really felt as if you were a part of it. And that's something I can never give the producers and the writers enough profound credit for, because Disney's always had this consistency of really trying to bring something to life. So if you spent hundreds of dollars, $500 to $1,000 to go to the Worlds Collide Tour, depending on if you bought a VIP experience package, if you spent $500 to $1,000, it was worth it, because of the experience you had with your family and your friends. Some of you went with your friends to the Worlds Collide Tour. You were so excited to go there. You spent hours doing your hair, picking out your outfits. and it was the night of your life. And I am so proud of you guys for showing up at the Worlds Collide Tour the way that you did. These critics that showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour, though, I'm not really sure about them. I think they went there with the sole purpose of reviewing it and providing us with criticism in the videos, and I think that a lot of people just wanted to watch the Worlds Collide Tour. So that's why I appreciated the videos that just focused on the performance level and the energy in the venue, rather than, okay, this is what I liked about it, this is what I didn't like about it, the merchandise wasn't really what I expected it to be, the quality wasn't superb. I mean, what'd you expect? They had to make thousands of hoodies, thousands of t-shirts, thousands of dolls. I mean, the quality of it wasn't expected to be top-notch, but the moments that you took away from the Worlds Collide Tour, that's what meant everything. Or at least that's what would have meant everything to me, just being in your guys' presence, just to experience the energy that you brought to it. And that deserves a profound amount of credit. I think that if we're going to say anything about our favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, we should say nothing but good things about them, because after a 10-year legacy has been left behind them, and that's what they're going to leave in their lifetime behind after their legacies have been surpassed, I think that we should say nothing but good things about them. And this is coming from a guy, I say this because I know what it's like to want to leave a legacy behind. You know, both my parents passed away when I was 19 years old. And ever since my parents passed away, all I've ever wanted to leave behind was a legacy and to never be forgotten. No matter if it was talking about something that Disney and Nickelodeon had happening for it, or your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars, all I ever wanted to do was provide commentary for a specific niche and have that niche love me so much that they would hit the subscribe button over 3,000 times on my YouTube channel for all of my videos. And this happened for me because of Descendants and Zombies and how incredibly supportive each and every one of you are. If there was one niche that I could provide commentary on over and over again, it would be Descendants and Zombies. If I could go back in time, if I were in possession of a pocket watch, I think rather than spend time with the ones I love and tell them I love them more than I probably ever did in my lifetime, I think I would choose to go back in time and experience the rise in popularity of Descendants all over again. Because 10 years ago, I didn't ever thought the Descendants would amount to what it did. I didn't think it would ever surpass High School Musical, Hannah Montana, and some of those popular TV shows and movies that Disney Channel had ever produced. But in 2025, Descendants has left a legacy behind it that will never ever be surpassed. And the legacies of these stars will never ever be surpassed. This is why I think it has everything to do with jealousy, about how Kylie Cantrell has become one of the most revered stars of the Descendants franchise in the world, how Malia Baker and her friendship is so beautifully represented. I mean, that says a lot because Disney really didn't have any chemistry going for it when Hannah Montana and High School Musical and the Jonas Brothers were at the heights of their popularity. I mean, Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment, years ago, no matter how hard they tried, they could never see eye to eye. And this is coming from the biggest Hannah Montana fan in the world. If there was one guy who loved Miley Cyrus's portrayal of Hannah Montana, living the double life, it was this guy. And if there's one guy who tells you he's watched the Descendants movies and the Zombies movies 100 times, you had better believe that I have. And I really do believe that humans and zombies could coexist in the one world if ever given the opportunity, and the chances of an alien invasion or a zombie apocalyptic takeover is far greater than ever given credit for. I don't ever buy into what the scientists are saying about an alien invasion and a zombie apocalyptic invasion ever happening. I don't buy into that, because I have watched every scientific documentary, and if there's one guy who's prepared for stuff to go down, it's this guy right here. I'm just so honored to be in your guys' presence and to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies to help you make sense of everything Descendants of Zombies. Because I believe while other critics are shutting down the idea of Descendants of Zombies lasting for forever, there is a far greater chance of it lasting for forever and standing in the annals of time. Because this franchise has changed my life for the better. If not for this franchise, the more that I think about it, we would have never met. And because we would have never met, I would have never had the opportunity to talk about Descendants of Zombies in the way that I feel it's been meant to be talked about for a very long time, because there's a certain pride and a passion that I've said many times over and over again in my commentaries that goes with talking about Descendants of Zombies. The thing about Descendants of Zombies fans, because they are so loyal to the franchise, they know everything there is to know about the franchise. They know what's happening before it ever happens. They give unbelievable predictions about Descendants of Zombies. So because they know what's up and what's happening, if somebody shows up on YouTube and they do these ridiculous reaction videos, or they give them opinions that they don't really care about, they're going to let you know about it. And I've experienced this. And I've had the most fun of my entire life commentating on Descendants of Zombies because of this. Because to be a part of this energy and this unbelievable atmosphere has been something that I know that I will forever and always cherish. It will forever and always hold a special place in my heart. And if I could do this all over again for you guys, no matter how you feel about me, I would do that all over again, because I see how dedicated Kylie Cantrell is to her work ethic. I see how dedicated Ruby Rose Turner is to this passion she's carried with her everywhere, even though her time with Descendants was very short-lived. By the way, I miss Ruby so much, and for the life of me, I don't know how they were able to produce Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland without her. They said it was because the concept of time travel was not needed in Descendants 5 because they were focusing on present-day Wonderland, but you can't honestly convince me that you couldn't have found something for Ruby to do in present-day Wonderland, because the character Bridget was so inspirational. If there ever was a character that exemplified kindness, it was this Bridget character, and I love the color scheme of her. I loved how her voice perfectly matched the lyrics of Life is Sweeter When You Are and brought it to life. Reportedly, there's a remix happening for Life is Sweeter When You Are for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. It remains to be seen, but I don't think it will be as effectively produced as Ruby Rose Turner's voice being on the song, because, as I said, it was a song that was meant for Ruby, and Ruby will never be forgotten because of Life is Sweeter When You Are. It was described as a bubblegum type song that would instantly get stuck in your head, and rest assured it did get stuck in my head, because I can't even tell you how many times I've YouTubed that song when I was at some of my lowest points in my lifetime, and it brought me back to reality. You guys have become some of my greatest friends and my greatest treasure, and what I mean by that is having the honor to sit here and talk to you guys about Descendants of Zombies has been an experience that I will never ever forget, and that's more in the way of appreciation than you're ever going to hear from another YouTube creator, because they just show up and they talk about Descendants of Zombies. Forgive me, but I don't think they're just ranking your favorite songs from top to bottom or your favorite moments from top to bottom is the right way of talking about Descendants of Zombies. If you love Zed and Addison, at least explain why. Offer an explanation as to why you love Zed and Addison. I think they were Disney Channel's power couple of 2018. When they premiered in 2018 and they were doing all the PR, they immediately ascended to becoming Disney Channel's power couple, because they represented hope and second chances for everybody, even though it seemed like true love was so far away from someone realizing it. It could happen for anybody. And I think that Meg Donnelly did a fabulous job with everything going on in her personal life and her personal struggles. She put that aside to bring this character to light, because zombies eventually would go on to mean so much to her in her heart. And that's why she's an executive producer. And that's why I'm looking forward to seeing her sitting in the director's chair for Zombies, because she has so much to offer it in the way of creative energy, a creative sense, and a creative direction. And I, for one, am incredibly excited to see where we go from here, because there's always a new opportunity in the Zombies franchise to tell a new story, to introduce us to new characters, to find out where we go from here. And I'm incredibly excited to see where the story will take us with new characters like Victor and Nova, who I've become very, very appreciative of, because they've done a fabulous job so far representing the Zombies franchise, something that Mila Manheim and Meg Donnelly felt so passionate about. And we saw this in the final kiss, in the final moments of them as the leads of the Zombies franchise, because that kiss was filled with so much passion. And from the moment that I heard them say the words "I love you," which was a moment I was waiting on for Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires to happen, I felt so appreciative of it. I felt like I was lost in the moment, because it was filled with so much passion, and it was really a moment they were building up to for the last 7 years, when they knew they were going to spend the rest of their lives together, which is a moment that we all want to get to with that person that means so much to us in our own lives. I want to say thank you to everybody who have supported this YouTube channel, because I never thought I'd be sitting here today with 57,000 channel views as of this morning and 2,800 subscribers. Whoever the 2,800 subscriber was, thank you so much. And there are so many more subscribers yet to be attracted to this YouTube channel, and so many Descendants of Zombies fans that I have yet to meet. And I'm incredibly excited to find out where I go from here, because I don't know what road we're headed in or what direction we're going in with the franchises. But I'm just so tired of hearing people talking about how they need to end the franchises, and talking about how eventually when the franchise ends, this is what should happen and this is what we should see for the Zombies franchise. The reality of life is we don't know what's going to happen when it comes to Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, or Zombies 5, or what even the title is going to be, or what the trailers are going to look like. Because so many people can use AI to create all these trailers with fake footage that make no sense whatsoever and lead us in the wrong direction. But it's our hearts that have always told us what to trust in when it comes to Descendants of Zombies. Our hearts are our best friend. And because we trust in our heart more than we trust in anybody in our lives, with the exception of probably one or two best friends that we have in our lifetime, because this is coming from a guy who probably had 3 or 4 really good friends. I had one friend who was named Craig, and he inspired me so much to be kinder to so many other people in life because it would get me further in life. And I had another friend whose name was Michael, who I hung out with every Saturday playing music in a shed, and we had a dream of being an indie band, although we never ever made it. The thing was, you don't need a whole lot of friends in this lifetime to make it. All you need are 2 really good friends that you can hold on to for the rest of your life, 2 or 3 really good friends, and if you have that, you have more than you could ever bargain for. And the thing is, those 2 or 3 really good friends that you will keep with you for the rest of your life is really something to cherish. And that's what Descendants of Zombies has tried to encourage us to believe in more than we ever have before. Because you take Ruby, for example. I mean, Ruby's only friend in the movie was Ella, played by Morgan Dudley. She was her only friend. And she was so proud to pontificate for Ella being her only friend because she knew that one friend was all she needed. She eventually went on to make more friends out of Kylie Cantrell's character Red and Malia Baker's character Chloe Charming, but it wasn't without holding on to that one friend. Nothing else would have ever happened to Ruby. So those 2 or 3 really good friends that you have, if that's all you have in your lifetime, that's something to be very grateful for and very appreciative of. Because the thing about time is, time always runs out. So I don't know how much of a reach these videos actually have when I upload them. I never promote these videos. It just so happens that 1 or 2 videos of the 4 that I upload every day finds its way out into the YouTube algorithm, and I can only hope that someone's going to hear my voice and hear my message of how I never think there are enough kind words said in this lifetime, how there are never enough kind people seen in this world. But I like to believe that as a YouTube creator, I've inspired people to be more kind to people. I've inspired people to reach out and touch somebody's heart when they least expect it, because kind words go further than many of us tend to realize sometimes. Did we ever think that Descendants of Zombies would get to the point that it got to? No, but we believed in it so much and we held on to it that it eventually got to a point of unprecedentedness and became the most revered franchises in the world. I mean, look at how much fun you had at the Worlds Collide Tour this summer. Do you think that would have happened if you never believed in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you did and supported it as much as what you have over the last decade? It probably would have never happened. The same thing can be said about High School Musical and Hannah Montana years ago. It probably would have never happened for them either, and the stage productions they did for them years ago probably would have never amounted to what they did, because it comes down to the fan support. And it comes down to how much you believe in what you believe in and what you hold on to. And I have never ever wanted anybody to let go of a dream, no matter if that was joining the swim team, the cheerleading squad, what have you, or even being a part of the Descendants franchises. Because in all honesty, that can happen for you. If it can happen for Kylie Cantrell, who nobody even knew existed before she was a part of the Descendants, it can happen for you too. And I'm here to encourage you that dreams do exist. Forever has a chance of happening for you, and one can find true love. Because as Cloud has said many times from Final Fantasy VII fame and all my years of playing that video game, you will find your light. I know that really sounds cliche and pretty lackluster, but I think that it is really true. What Cloud believed from Final Fantasy VII was really true. Everybody has a light. It's just a matter of how and when you will find that light and you will encounter it. But believe you me, your light does exist out there, and you will find it. And that's what Descendants of Zombies has always encouraged us to believe. So if you would love to take a chance on me in this YouTube channel, I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button. I would encourage you to hit the like button. Because while you may not have to hit my like button or my subscribe button, I would love for you to be a part of this incredible journey. Because so many people have seen these videos, and I like to believe one way or another, some way or somehow, these videos have touched every single person's heart who has ever watched it from beginning to end. And there are more people who have watched these videos from beginning to end than ever given credit for, or probably will ever admit to watching these videos from beginning to end. Because I really do believe there are people who are such huge fans of this YouTube channel, my approach for Descendants of Zombies videos and my very authentic commentaries, who wait on these videos every day just for incentive, just to feel inspired. And it's the greatest honor of my lifetime knowing that I have come away inspiring so many wonderful people from all walks of life. Because it's one thing to talk about Descendants of Zombies, but there's a whole different atmosphere out there when you actually have an appreciation for this franchise and you show up and you talk about Descendants of Zombies with meaning. because I feel as if it's never done enough, and I just want to be one of those guys that shows the appreciation for Descendants of Zombies it deserves, so that the franchises do last for forever. Because my greatest fear has always been fading off into obscurity and being forgotten about and never having a legacy. But I know now, because of Descendants of Zombies and my thoughts on it, having shared with you guys, Descendants of Zombies legacies will live forever. And it would have never happened if you guys never showed up the way that you did out of support of your favorite Descendants of Zombies stars. And that's the reason why we will do this all over again tomorrow morning and talk more about Descendants of Zombies in the way it was meant to be talked about and reviewed for a very long time. So if you're somebody who is a returning subscriber to this YouTube channel, it is an honor to have you here. And if you're somebody new who has never watched a Jonathan Clarke video before, hi, I would love for you to subscribe. It is an honor to meet you, and it is an honor for you to be on this incredible journey with me and to be in your presence to talk about Descendants of Zombies. While I may not be the best YouTube creator out there, I like to believe that there are people out there, more than ever given credit for, who believe that I am, and who will trust in my vision for Descendants of Zombies and the direction we're headed in. While I may not know what to expect in Descendants 5, like Wonderland and Zombies 5, and the rumors surrounding it, I'm as excited to be a part of it as each and every one of you, because I'm just like each and every one of you. I'm a fan. I don't know what's going to happen in Descendants of Zombies from one moment to the next, but I'm just excited to be here covering it for you guys and to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies. We will talk again tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. But until then, thank you guys so much for showing all the love and support you have for this YouTube channel, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. Stay calm and zombie on, everybody, because we all will find our light.